Good morning. It is Wednesday. I keep thinking today is Thursday, and I'm like, the week's going by so fast. How is it Thursday already? And I'm like, oh, it's not Thursday. It's Wednesday. So it's Wednesday. Yay. What I want to talk to you about today for our live is really embracing your mistakes, embracing imperfection, and not waiting until you feel confident to start. And I think this is important more now than ever because we're in situations that we've never been in before. If you are, running a business and you're interacting with potential clients, you're having different conversations than maybe you've ever had before. You are maybe making cold calls or sending cold emails to potential clients in the middle of a global pandemic. And it can feel like, yikes, I don't really know what to say. And I want to tell you guys a story. I have a client where we will make calls to their potential clients, cold calls together as part of a group. And, I can't tell you how many times we've been on those calls and myself, I make calls with them, or one of the team members gets all tongue tied making this call. And it's funny and we laugh about it. And it's like, oh my gosh, what just happened there? It's like all of a sudden your tongue's super swollen and the words aren't coming out. And I have done that so many times where I'll get off the phone and I'm like, what was that? And I tell you that because ultimately there's a couple of things here. One, people are generally pretty forgiving. And when you make mistakes, when you reach out to people because maybe you don't know exactly what to say, or maybe you're just having a bad day, it actually endears you to a lot of people, that it humanizes the interaction. It makes you feel less robotic. So sometimes making mistakes can actually create a stronger connection out of the gates. The second thing is your potential prospects don't have this scripted idea of what a conversation is supposed to sound like. They don't know what the message is supposed to be. They don't know the direction that you thought you wanted to go on the call. So they're automatically going to be way more forgiving than you are to yourself. And I say this because so often we are so worried about doing things perfectly or doing things well or saying things the exact right way that we wait until we feel confident. We wait until we feel like we have it dialed in perfectly to start going out and putting ourselves out there. And I want to tell you that that's probably more true now than ever. That, when we're in a place of heightened anxiety, of increased uncertainty, that we are more risk adverse. And that is just a reality of the world that we live in. And so when we're in that risk adverse situation, we want more than ever certainty and stability. And so we are like, okay, I'm going to have my exact script of exactly what I'm going to say. It's going to be perfect. I'm going to know how to answer every question they have, and then I'll reach out. The danger in that is that it actually stops you from getting feedback, because one of the best things that happens after you make a mistake on a sales call or you have an interaction with a potential client and you're like, what was that? What just happened? Oh my gosh. Is it gives you a minute to debrief and to think back, okay, where did that go sideways and why? Was it just a weird interaction? Like, I can't tell you how many times the potential client on the other end of the phone says something totally random and it throws me off. And I'm like, what are they talking about? I need a minute to catch up with them. And so, but then it's like, okay, why did I get tongue tied there? Why did I feel like I was having a hard time? So then I can get feedback and address it. It also, you can only practice things. People hate role playing, right? But you can only read things so many times, say it in your head. When you say something to another person, it's going to sound different and feel different than if you're reading it. And so go out there and make bad sales calls. That is what I'm telling you to do today. That it's gonna happen. It happens to people who have been doing sales calls for 15 years. It happens to me that I can tell you that for every 100 calls that I make for my business or for a client, there's going to be at least one, probably more like 3 or 4, that are total train wrecks. And it's okay. It's like, okay, that got derailed so quickly. Oh my goodness. But the good thing about it is there's more people to call and you can make adjustments. And so don't wait until you feel confident. Don't wait until you have the perfect script. Don't wait until you feel like you know exactly what you want to say to go out there and start having conversations. Be graceful with yourself. Give yourself that grace of saying, I'm going to go out and do it and it might not be perfect. And if you have a moment where you're like, yikes, did that really just happen? Oh my gosh, did that come out of my mouth? I've done this too in trainings. I'll be doing trainings for companies and I will say something and I'm watching myself and I'm like, what was that? And if you laugh about it and you have a sense of humor about it, we're all human and people don't like to work with robots. How many times have you gotten a sales call from somebody or interacting with somebody and it feels like they're reading off a script? It feels like they're talking to you from this kind of like no emotion, no authenticity. Like it's perfect, right? The words sound great, but that the way they're saying it, you're not connecting with them. When you have those moments when things come out of your mouth, acknowledge them. Be human about it. Hey, oh my gosh, I have no idea where I was going with that. Oh my gosh, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. And all of a sudden, you're having a human to human conversation and it endears yourself. So being imperfect is actually something that can help you in a sales conversation. So there's like multiple things I'm trying to get at here. One, I'm trying to tell you first and foremost, don't wait until you feel like you have the confidence or the perfect script to go out and make calls. If you find yourself hesitating to pick up the phone or send an email because it feels clunky, send it anyways, call anyways. And the more you make bad sales calls, the more you're going to learn what good sales calls look like. We learn by doing things, right? I mean, there's different ways that we learn. I'm very much a kinesthetic learner, so this is probably more true for me than somebody who's not a kinesthetic learner. But there's this great quote in writing where it's like Cheryl Strayed says, she wrote Wild, you can't think yourself or practice yourself into being a good writer. The way you become a good writer is by writing. And this is true in sales too. The way you get good at sales and winning and getting clients using proactive strategies is by going out and talking to people, having sales conversations, and knowing that they're not all going to be amazing at the beginning. And the great thing is if you expect that it might not be perfect and you're prepared for that, then you can have grace about it and laugh about it. And oftentimes it's these imperfect connections that become the most lasting and the most successful. And so just know that it doesn't have to be perfect in order to get results. And that doing it and doing it badly is going to get you more results than not doing it because you're waiting for it to be perfect or until you feel completely confident. And so just more now than ever, if you find yourself in this sense of, man, I've really pulled back on some of my outreach efforts because I don't know what to say, or I don't know how to say it, or I don't know how to message this given, the challenges that my customers are facing, given the reality we're in. So I'm just going to wait until this passes. You are doing yourself and your business and your customers a huge disservice. That go out there and let it be messy, let it be uncomfortable, let it be imperfect, because then you're going to start to see what were the parts that did feel good, what were the parts of that message that did resonate, and what were the parts that didn't, and you can tweak it from there versus trying to wholesale come up with the solution just in your head without any feedback from your audience. And so this is what I want to encourage you about, that first of all, it happens to everyone. Be willing to make mistakes. That is how you're going to get better. I can tell you that watching people make bad sales calls and watching them make small adjustments over time, okay, tweak this, maybe tweak this here, tweak this a little bit. And before you know it, those people that started out nervous, uncomfortable, awkward, become confident. They become good, they become great conversationalists, and they have outstanding results. But if they wouldn't have taken those actions and done those things when it was uncomfortable, they would have never gotten to the point where it is comfortable. So I want to share that with you today, because I think if you notice yourself, I feel like there's a lot of people right now that are kind of pulling back from outreach efforts because they're more sensitive, which is a good thing. I want you guys be sensitive about what's going on in the world. It's not about ignoring what's going on. It's not about pretending that it's not stressful and there's not impacts. But if you're letting that stop you from taking any action because you're not sure how to proceed, you're never going to learn how to proceed. And so just say, I'm going to make 3 bad sales calls today. That's my goal. Awesome. Go out and do it. I'm going to send 2 crappy sales emails today. Awesome. Do it. And then don't just let yourself stay in the crappiness. Go ahead and start then thinking about, okay, what was that made that feel crappy? Is there a sentence in there I don't like? How can I make this less crappy the next time? Small adjustments over time will lead to outstanding results. And the way that you're going to get feedback to make those adjustments is by doing it, is by putting it out there, is by getting feedback in the market. So this is your challenge for today, is that if you find yourself that you're hesitant to reach out, if you have a list of people that maybe you need to be following up with, or people that requested information, but you think maybe they're not interested anymore because COVID's changed, or I don't know how to have this conversation with them now because I know that, economically their situation might have changed. Do it anyways and let it be bad, and then be like, okay, what did you learn from that conversation? What did you learn from that call? And how can you make it better? I love Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She talked about how in her family, they celebrated failure. And at the end of every day, her dad would say, what did you fail at today? And they would celebrate it. And it really created this mindset around embracing failure. And if you want to have a business that has consistent sales, that you're consistently getting more clients, and you're doing that proactively by utilizing outbound sales, you are going to have failures. That is just the name of the game. And so instead of that being something that you avoid, let that be something that you embrace, because it's moving you forward and getting you the information you need to keep getting better. And that's what this is all about, is if you make small, tiny improvements every single day, you will astound yourself with the results that you can achieve. So I know that I've mentioned this before. The doors are open for Double Down Club. This is going to be a way where if you are a consultant, if you are a commission-based professional in real estate, mortgage, insurance, and you need more clients to increase your revenues and you want to double your revenue, I know that sounds like a crazy goal, but it is possible. And you want support in making those micro adjustments to your strategies, to your approaches, to your messaging, Double Down Club will help you to make those micro adjustments. You'll get 1 strategy a month. You will get that you can implement in 1 hour a week that will help you win at least 1 new client a month. That 1 new client, if you get 1 new client for the whole year, it will pay for your investment. But more importantly, you will get support and feedback in making those micro adjustments and saying, okay, I'm playing with this messaging and it's not resonating. Okay, let's tweak this and see how it goes. Let's adjust this approach and see how it goes. And you'll get that support to make those micro adjustments to get you to the bullseye of where you want to be. But you're never going to get to that bullseye if you don't shoot at the dartboard, and you might miss sometimes, and that's okay, but you got to keep practicing and honing the skills. So I'm going to be live on the Facebook page, in the Facebook group at 1 o'clock today, doing a free training, going over a sales blueprint that can help you get in front of your customers and stand out from your competition. So join me live at 1 o'clock today for that free training. And also check out Double Down Club. If you are committed to your goals for 2020 and you want the support in making those micro adjustments to get there, go to mytimetoprofit.com/double down. Again, that's mytimetoprofit /double down. And I will see you today at 1 o'clock.